going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. I also mentioned to you, Webull, best promotion, back for September only. All you need to do, click the link, open an account, deposit any amount of money, a single dollar. You deposit $1, they're going to give you 12 free fractional shares, but I don't think they're going to do it much longer. Do yourself a favor, holiday weekend, click the link, open the account. I know you won't regret it. Taking a look at Maximum Football to put up some more gameplay, and listen, there's some real positives here, there's some real negatives here. I want to go through both, and I actually want to do something I don't know that I've ever done before. We're going to take a look at this segment of the game, back-to-back clips. So follow along. This is the beginning of the snap, and I want to just talk about how these players drop back. We're going to start with what we want to see. We want to see this. A player that drops back, helps set the pocket, can be there to double team. What we don't want to see is this. So pay very close attention, Maximum Football. We're helping you here. We don't want to see the player drop back, loop underneath, cut across, go off, nowhere to do, look in the distance. This right here, though, absolutely incredible. Watch this defensive back in his zone. Watch how he is going to actually patrol this whole area of the field. Watch him carry the receiver over. This is what we've wanted in so many games. But most importantly, watch this defensive back. Now understand, his man is running behind him. The route that's being ran is not even his to cover, but watch the AI here. He realizes, look, the ball is coming in my direction. I'm going to stand here. Even though this wasn't my receiver in my assignment, I'm smart enough to know the ball is coming here. I'm going to jump, undercut the route, and go ahead and get the interception. Now, not only that, something really nice as this play starts to develop is the downfield pursuit when it comes to faster players. Watch very carefully. We get to right here, highlight these two players. They have to be able to get across. Now, ideally, the faster players should be able to get inside, but they're not running in the back of each other. They actually separate, and if this was further downfield, you probably have a situation where that faster player is going to catch the defensive back rather than just blindly run into the back of the player before him. How many times have you been playing a football game, any football game, doesn't matter who made it, you have all your defensive backs blindly just standing in their zone, not carrying receivers, you throw a ball, they just stand there no matter what. How many times are you running interception back and you've got your players running into each other like they don't even know the objective is to get the ball in the end zone? Or, from the other side, they don't understand they need to stop the defender from getting the ball back into the end zone. So, again, I think a lot of what we've seen comes down to improving the line play, comes down to improving logic. And to be fair, it's one of the big issues Maximum Football had before anyone that played this game. You know, the line seems to give the biggest issue. And honestly, that's across the board. Any football game other than All-Pro Football seems to struggle with the line. And I want to give you guys, to close this out, something to think about. I'd love to know your feedback on this because one of the biggest rumors people had when it came to 2K Sports is that the line was all motion capture together. That's why the game looks so fluid. That's why it looks so crisp. And every movement you made was just playing it out animation and ahead of its time. So if you're hitting spin, you're not getting the spin immediately, but you are getting it based on the delay of the animation. That's why the game looks so seamless. Now, to me, I don't know if I fully believe that because I felt the controls were very responsive. I thought the controls were very realistic, and I felt like I could branch off an animation if I needed to and try to work back against the grain if I was trying to get back to maybe sack the quarterback or back to blow up a run play, whatever the case may be. Would you be okay, though, as a gamer, with a company saying, listen, to make this pocket look better, we're going to take away some of your user control, we're going to be a little bit more animation dependent than we want, but we're not going to get players that are just blindly standing around doing nothing, running into each other, letting blocks go, looking back at the quarterback, doing things that don't make sense. Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with the offense and defense having a majority of their gameplay done as one animation? Now, I offer this because if you remember way back when, EA Sports was going to do the wide receiver and defensive back combination animations. Remember, where you'd have the most realistic outcome that it could be determined to be, but as the user, you had no control offensively or defensively. So there is some give and take. You wouldn't have any control, but the animation looked pretty good as far as what the game was trying to accomplish. And I understand the biggest part of this is going to be the variety of the animations. Do we need more than 15, 20, 30? Of course, we probably need hundreds of animations. And if that's how All Pro Football and NFL 2K5 had their game, I actually believe there would probably be thousands of animations, if not specifically set to each defender. But to me, when you look at the whole gaming landscape, every game struggles to get these animations down for the line. You look at it no different, whether it's Madden, whether it's Axis, whether it's Maximum, any game. The line is genuinely the tell where the game doesn't start looking the best. Would you be okay as a gamer to sacrifice the control for the visuals of the game? I mean, personally, to me, I don't know that it really matters as much, because a lot of the time I'm playing these games, I don't actually play on the line. And I think that's where it's going to depend on your style as a gamer, whether you're okay with this or not. Because if you're spending time at linebacker, corner, safety, the line is playing out in front of you regardless. And let's be honest, from an offensive standpoint, there's no game right now that allows you to control the offensive line. So the biggest thing that we're really talking about is maybe not even giving you control of a defensive tackle or a defensive end, which at the end of the day, is that really the biggest part that you would play? Is that the biggest issue that you would have? Would it maybe not even be a better thing if they remove those controls altogether and made you go out and play other positions? Now, before you say, Ryan, I should be able to play any position I want, I just told you. You're already not playing on the offensive line, and you never have. When you go into most career modes, you're genuinely not giving the option to play any position you want. So every game from the start of football gaming has had these restrictions already built in for us. And yet, here we are wondering out loud, what would a game look like if we didn't have to control the defensive line? We already aren't controlling the offensive line, and we gave up a little bit of user control, a little bit of the ability to play a position, but in return, we had to learn X's and O's a little bit more. We had a game that looked a lot better visually. We had animations that maybe weren't as jarring to go in and out of because you're no longer on those positions. To me, it's really something, if I was starting a game from scratch, I would strongly consider and say, listen, I know you guys aren't going to like this, but understand the idea behind it, the reason, the concept. You're going to have a game that looks good. You're going to have a game that makes sense. You're going to have a line that follows logic for both running and pass blocking, but you're not going to be able to actually settle on those positions, even though we'll still give you the availability of maybe adding in the X factors or adding the attributes or the skill points to make sure that you still have control over the players on it. But those players are going to be more meaningful now because the ratings are going to control the animations that are essentially going to play out for you as a user to play in front of and behind, whether it's offense or defense. Love to know your guys' thoughts on that, because honestly, a lot of what's holding this game back is that initial line movement. I don't know if they could even consider doing this, but the engines they work with are pretty limitless. Be really interesting to know if they could ever sit down and hammer out a concept like that. Love to know your thoughts on this video. Appreciate you watching this video. You know I will be back in the week with more commentary.